I call the meeting to order of the Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1. Let the minutes reflect that this meeting has been duly called and that the notice of the meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act. The time now is 1:45 p.m. We want to start with a roll call to establish quorum.
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2. Joe Flores, Precinct 3.
Eli Torres, Precinct 4.
Richard Cortez, County Judge. That constitutes a quorum. Mr. Singh, will you please lead us in prayer?
Yes, sir. Sure will. Thank you, Judge. Let us pray. Father God, again, we give you praises and thanks for another day that you've allowed us to come serve, Lord. We continue to pray for our area, continue to pray for our state, continue to pray for our country, Lord. More importantly, we continue to pray for our leadership here, Lord. We uplift them to you. Pray for the judge and the 4 commissioners, Lord. Continue to provide them with your wisdom, Lord. Continue to provide them with your insight, with your guidance, and more importantly, with your peace through your Son, Jesus, Lord, as they continue to make the decisions that affect us all, but not just themselves, but their families as well, Lord. Keep them at peace because they know that as they serve the public, they are taken away, and their families must also endure that as well, Lord. I continue to ask for your guidance for myself, for all the leaders of this great county, Lord, for all the workers of this great county. May we just continue to work as working for you, Lord. We lift up the Anthony Weber's family, Lord, of his passing in Precinct 1, Lord. We pray for healing. We pray for oversight, for your hand of peace over their families as they deal with this tragedy, Lord. I just, again, give you praises and thanks for allowing us to serve this great county of ours. I ask this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Do we have anybody sign up
No,
for
sir.
open forum?
No, sir.
We'll go to the approval of the consent agenda. Do any items need to be removed?
No, sir. Everything is standard. Approval check register. We have some utility permits, discharge permits, and then just payments to vendors that have been vetted by my engineering team and our accounting team as well. Everything should be in order.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item 5A.
Thank you, sir. 5A, discussion as it relates to community development block grants, disaster recovery, Cdbg funding awarded by U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for recovery from 2018 to 2019 storms and flooding. Just wanted to kind of touch on what the announcement Senator Corner made and the award on the $285 million of funds are available for our area based on the 2018-2019 storms. We have, the way the language is written right now, no less than $58 million will be invested in Hidalgo County for 2018, and no less than $170 million will be invested in Cameron, Chambers, Harris, Jefferson, Liberty, Montgomery, Hidalgo, and Orange for 2019 storms. So that's an abundance amount of funds. We're still going to be tracking when they write the state action plan and see how much is that going to be for infrastructure, housing, and things of that nature. But I do want to thank Senator Cornyn, Congressman Vela, County Judge for the leadership, Commissioner Fuentes and Commissioner Torres also with the letter that we wrote, and the board, entire board, the support of trying to get this drainage fund down to our area that we know we need. So we're going to continue to monitor as those rules get written and develop, continue our communication with our state and our federal partners to continue to make sure that those investments get down here to our area so we can implement into our drainage improvements that we greatly need. So just want to provide that information for the board, and we'll continue to monitor as that develops and keep the board informed of everything. Okay?
Thank you.
Yes. Item B, requesting authority to advertise and approval of procurement packet, i.e. legal notices, specifications, bid package, et cetera, attached here too for purchase of 1 cast iron sluice gate 96 by 96 for proposed Mission Inlet Drainage Improvements, Project Section C and F, Balboa Estates Area Drainage Improvements, RFP number ACD 1-20-012-0209, 19, including the re-advertisement of the project and the event bids are rejected or no bids are received and the project is still required. This project's got to bid already. However, to try to expedite the delivery of these gates, we're ordering just the gates. The actual labor and everything is going to be turnkey, done and everything, but this will help get that project move along much farther because usually it's about 6 to 8 weeks just in wait time for the gates, so we're kind of getting ahead of that.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C, recommending a bid award and approve a contract for the responsible bidder submitting the sole bid requirements on our requirements specification contract number CACD 1-19-0780-128 drug alcohol testing service subject to legal review.
So moved.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item D, approve of the following personnel actions. Create two right-of-way agent positions. At G15S1, 59,585. Item 2, approve the budget amendment required for personnel action, the amount of 163,815.38. And item 3, approval of revised salary schedule.
So move for
Second.
items 1, 2, 3.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 6, approval to issue payment of the following items pursuing review and compliance contract terms and conditions. Drain Military Road Crossing, application payment number 1 in the amount of $80,101.70 for Moorwheel LLC pertaining to construction contract ACDD 11906400903 Hidalgo Drain Military Road Crossing. Everything's in order.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B, requesting approval of supplement agreement number 1 of work concession number 1, the connection contract number ACDD 11902120326 Javier Hinojosa Engineering for purpose of amending the work authorization 1 special service by adding right-of-way acquisition negotiation service, resulting in an increase in the amount of $40,500 for a new special service fee, total amount of $63,000 for the project 3 3/4 mile road and Schubert Road, 2018 bond referendum project number 2, subject to compliance House Bill 1295.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion carries.
7A, approval to issue payment of the following items proceeding review and compliance contract terms and conditions, Jackson Drain and Budget. Application for payment number 4 in the amount of $57,330.79 for Castle Enterprise LLC pertaining to construction contract number ACDD 11804800925. Everything's in order.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 8A, discussion to approve resolution recognizing the necessity of acquiring easements or right-of-ways or fee title in connection with the construction of Alamo Expressway Drain Project in Hidalgo County, Texas, as for the acquisition of said easements or right-of-ways or fee title by eminent domain or otherwise.
So
Move for
move.
approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, discussion and approval of resolution recognizing the necessity of acquiring easements or right-of-way or fee title in connection with the construction of 3 3/4 mile road and Schubach Road 2018 bond project number 2 in Hidalgo County, Texas, and for the acquisition of said easements or right-of-way or fee title by eminent domain or otherwise.
So move for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item C, discussion and approval of resolution recognizing the necessity of acquiring easements or right-of-ways or fee and title connection with the construction of Rainbow Drain Project Phase 1, Segment 4 in Dow County, Texas, and for the acquisition of said easement or right-of-way or fee title by eminent domain or otherwise.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Great. Ivan, do we have something?
You want to
Yeah.
discuss something?
Just a small item.
Okay, pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, we will be retiring to discuss the items listed regarding Code Section 551.72 and 551.74. Any action to be taken will be taken in open session. Okay, we're back from executive session. I believe we have one action item to take.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we're recommending that the board authorize legal counsel and the district's administration to proceed with contemplated litigation as discussed in the closed meeting.
So
Move for
move.
approval. Second.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
I believe that's all our agenda items. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Is it two already?
Yes.
I call the meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court to order. Let the minutes reflect that this meeting has been duly called and that the notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act. It is now 2 p.m. We will begin with a roll call.
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2.
Joe Flores, Precinct 3.
Ellie Torres, Precinct 4.
Rich Cortez, County Judge. That constitutes a quorum. As is customary, today we're honored to have Sal Palomo leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Palomo is a United States Army veteran, retired, who served from February 21, 1974 through January 31, 1980. Thank you very much for your service.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we come together today for the good of the citizens of Hidalgo County. Give us your wisdom as we make decisions that will affect them today and in the years to come. Help us to work well together, recognizing that each of us are here because we want what's best for Hidalgo County. We ask for your blessing and your guidance. Amen. Please remain standing.
On behalf of Commissioner Fuentes and ourselves here in the Commissioner's Court, it is with great sadness that we share the heartbreaking news that the death of one of our own here in Hidalgo County, Anthony Weber, a lifetime resident of Donna, went to be with the Lord on Thursday, January 23rd. Anthony joined Precinct 1 in 2000 as an accounts payable clerk in the accounting department. Commissioner Fuentes described Anthony was a great co-worker and friend and will be deeply missed. His funeral is being held today at St. Joseph's Catholic Church in Donna, followed by burial at the Valverde Memorial Gardens. So on behalf of all of us here in the Commissioner's Court, Hidalgo County Precinct 1, and our extended Hidalgo County family, we extend our condolences, thoughts, and prayers to his wife, Martha, his family, and his friends and colleagues. Please join me and us in a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is your approval of the consent agenda. But I think before we go with that, we have a presentation to make here. We have the Honorable Judge Zayed Ramon that's going to be honoring another distinguished Judas from the Judicial Court.
Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. It's really an honor for me to read and present this resolution honoring one of our outstanding jurists here in Hidalgo County. Whereas Mario E. Ramirez, Jr., presiding judge of the 332nd District Court, is celebrating his 40th judicial anniversary this month, and whereas Judge Ramirez earned his Juris Doctorate from St. Mary's University School of Law in 1975 and has presided over the 330th Judicial District of Texas in Edinburgh since the court was established in 1983, and whereas he is the most senior judge in Hidalgo County and has served as the overseer of the Juvenile Probation Department for over 36 years, and in 2008, the newly constructed Juvenile Justice Center was dedicated in his honor, and whereas Judge Ramirez was honored as one of the 2019 Distinguished Law Graduates by St. Mary's University Law Alumni Association, and whereas he began his judicial career in 1980 as a presiding judge of County Court at Law Number 2 and served on the bench of the 93rd District Court from 1981 through 1982. He's a proud husband to his wife, Noelia, and together they have 3 children and 6 grandchildren. And whereas Judge Ramirez currently serves as the local administrative presiding judge for the Hidalgo County Board of Judges and has received numerous honors, recognitions, and awards during his tenure. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court does hereby honor and commend 332nd District Court Judge Mario Ramirez on his 40th judicial anniversary in Hidalgo County. Approved. Approved this 14th day of January, 2020. Signed by all the commissioners.
Move for approval.
Second. Say a few words.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Your Honor.
Thank you so much. Am I get to say a few words?
Please, please. I was going to interrupt the other judge to ask you to come forward, but you know you don't interrupt judges, so.
Thank you again, Judge. I remember when I first started, it was back in 1980. I've been in practice for a few years, or quite a few years, and I was kind of tired, and it was really hard establishing a practice, and I was working lots of long hours, and I spent very little time with my family, and some friends says, well, County Court of Law is available. Why don't you take it? Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you'll get to relax for a little while. And I haven't relaxed a minute this morning. I swear that's been 40 years now. and I was honored by the Commissioners Court. I came in, applied, and they appointed me on the spot. Guerra swore me in, Ramiro Guerra swore me in at the moment. And I've been here almost ever since. For the resolution, first of all, I want to thank all my colleagues for being here and attorneys from the different offices. This is my wife, Noelia, and my daughter, Rebecca, and I'm very happy that they're here with me today. You all have always, the Commissioners Court has always been so kind to me, and my family is so grateful. Thank you again for naming the facility for me. I know you were here, Judge Flores. I think everybody else is new, but I know that want you all to know how much I appreciate it, and especially because my mother and father were alive at that time, and saw the building up there, and they were very honored, very pleased. I can tell you that it's been a pleasure serving the people of Hidalgo County. The people have been very kind to me. I haven't had an opponent now in almost 30 years, so I appreciate them doing that, because that has allowed me to spend time with my family. And hopefully I've done a good job, and the people appreciated the work that I've done here. And again, it's all for the people and all for the good of Hidalgo County. And again, I'm not long on words, but I really do appreciate sincerely you all having done this for me and for my family. And again, thank you so much, and I appreciate your friendship so much. Thank you.
Great to have you. Great to have you.
First, Judge with the family and with Judge.
Congratulations, Judge.
Judge, good to see you. Congrats.
Okay, everybody please step forward. Everyone smile. On the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you. Now, if the rest of the judges and supporters can come up and join us for the photo. Let's just leave the center part open so we can get commissioners here. And you can walk into the audience on either side.
A little bit more, exactly. No.
Which one do you want me to block?
That's okay, don't worry.
Hey, you can't block me. I'm too big.
I want you all to know that Judge Gonzalez says that I was pretty old. He's next in line to me.
After 40 years, we dress you.
Yeah, no. I think that's open.
All right, that's great. I see everybody. Everybody look at me, please. Okay, on the count of 3 now, everybody smile. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. And if you can stand there, stay there, and would our DA join us and anybody else who's here in support of Judge Ramirez? Tootsie? Any staff? Chief Rodriguez, would you like to join us as well?
Come forward, that way I can film this, and then you sit in front.
Como ustedes quieran. No, pues she wants all of us, the four of us to go. Yeah, let's the four of us go. That's a lot better, Chief.
Congratulations, Your Honor. Hi, Sean. How are you? Nice to meet you. Yes, sir, absolutely.
See you, brother.
Yeah, yeah.
It is, right? It's much more, you know.
What's up, Council? How are you? Judge?
I know. I'll call you back. I'll wait. No. Just some updates and things like that. Okay.
Judge?
Which three?
There's gum, there's oh my gosh, the copper. Oh man, that's sweet. I love it. Great idea. Great gesture.
I'm glad everyone's having some fun, but we've got some business to conduct. If y'all can please. Thank you. Thank you for understanding.
Take that side.
Thank you for understanding that we have a long agenda today. The next item in the agenda, I'm going to skip to item 14A, presentation of Area Health Educational Center of San Carlos.
His mic is off.
Thank you for understanding.
There we go. Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. It's a tremendous honor to give this presentation here today. We're part of a team that's providing services in Hidalgo County, particularly in the San Carlos area. We have to thank Commissioner Torres and the Commissioner's Court for coordinating this effort. And I'm not going to take any of the glory away from the hard work the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley has done. I'd like to call up, of course, Vice President Veronica Gonzalez.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here today and talk a little bit about the Area Health Education Center that we have in San Carlos. I do want to commend you on your honoring Judge Ramirez, who has provided so much service to our county for 40 years. And I think today's all about service. And that's what this clinic was meant to do. I remember we started the conversations back in 2016 with Alicia Rodriguez, and then in 2017 we cut the ribbon. I remember Commissioner Torres had just recently been elected, and she joined us, and she has been a staunch supporter of this clinic ever since. And so I'm not going to take away from the tremendous work that's been done by Dr. John Renaud and Linda Nelson and others, and he's going to give a short presentation, and so will Ms. Nelson. But we just wanted to say thank you to the county, thank you, Commissioner Torres, and to all of you for always being so supportive. The School of Medicine is doing great things, and you have been our partners from day one. So thank you so very much. Let me introduce Dr. John Renaud.
Thank you, Vice President. My name is John Renaud, Senior Associate Dean for Community Health Partnerships and Director of the Area Health Education Center Program. Judge and Commissioners, thank you so much for allowing us time on your busy agenda to provide you with a progress report regarding your decision to support the Area Health Education Center at San Carlos. We believe you will be very pleased with the results thus far, and we are just getting started. Of course, in large part, it's all about health care, but we'll be telling you it's also about additional services and health education and health promotion that we think is going to have a big impact on helping us to reduce the level of poverty and thus have a big positive economic impact on the valley and particularly in San Carlos. I'd like to recognize my other UTRGV team members, of course, the Vice President, Dr. Sean Sullivan, who's Vice President for Faculty Affairs, Division of Health Professions, Dr. Linda Nelson, Senior Director for Clinical Operations with the School of Medicine, and Ms. Araceli Ramirez, who's our Program Manager for the AHEC program. It has been a little over a year since a ribbon cutting at San Carlos, at which Hidalgo County, at your expense, created a very modern, and I know if you have seen it, if not, please come and visit. On behalf of Commissioner Torres, I'll extend that invitation. A very modern and beautiful primary health care clinic. The county continues to provide utilities, maintenance, and custodial services to make this facility work, while the UTRGV School of Medicine and a federal grant through the Health Resources Services Administration provides the staff, equipment, and supplies. So we want to add our thanks to former Commissioner Joseph Palacios and, of course, our current Commissioner Eli Torres and the entire Commission for your support of this project. We are very, very fortunate to have a very committed and supportive Community Advisory Board, which meets at least quarterly, and they guide us. Let me tell you, they guide us. They're not shy. They're vociferous and huge advocates for their community, and we could not do it without them. Our board members include the following individuals who are present today. Mrs. Lydia Maldonado, who is, as you well know, a prominent citizen and business owner in San Carlos, and she's the chairperson of our AHEC Community Advisory Board. Ms. Alicia Rodriguez, who's Director of the Endowment Center, Supervisor of the Endowment Center, and of course Mr. Eddie Olivares is also a voting member on our Community Advisory Board. Your clinic, your primary care clinic at the AHEC in San Carlos is open 5 days a week. It has been open for over almost the past 2 years, 40 hours a week. We have, for the first few months, the plan has always been to ramp up. Our plan was to have full-time clinical coverage there by year 4. We just entered year 3 of the grant, and we're pleased to announce that we are already providing full-time clinical coverage and seeing patients 40 hours per week. There are full-time staff in this clinic. We have a full-time medical assistant, a full-time patient services or front desk person, and a nurse practitioner, plus a special grant which provides women's health. You can see the numbers, I think you'll agree, are very impressive. Since November of 2018, we've provided over almost 3,400 patient visits. Over 1,100 unduplicated people have been served. You can see the breakdown there, about 75% female. And you can see the age range, the preponderance of people we're serving are between 21 to 60. As you can imagine, unfortunately, or good fortune, we're seeing the entire range of afflictions, anything from abdominal pains to depression, headaches, pelvic pains, vomiting, et cetera, just the entire range of primary care services. And I don't have to tell you that in large part the folks we're serving there are folks who otherwise would not get health care or haven't had it for the past 4 or 5 years. Dr. Nelson, would you like to add, please?
Thank you. I think the other thing is thank you for having us. We continue to thank you for supporting the School of Medicine. Commissioner Torres, too, for supporting San Carlos. I do want to say that we hope that we're going to make an impact on cervical cancer in the Valley. The Valley has the highest level of cervical cancer in the nation, and so we have added female or women's health services to San Carlos, which is really the only AHEC clinic that we've been able to add those services to. And we are expanding with telemedicine in that location as well. So I want to thank you. I think that we're doing just an absolute wonderful job at San Carlos. It's our busiest AHEC clinic, and we've been able to expand our services there much sooner than we thought we'd be able to. Thank you again.
As I mentioned, Judge and Commissioners, in addition to primary health care, we have been providing, will continue to provide continuing education opportunities to area practitioners, including community health workers as well as nurses or medical doctors in the area. We will also be providing, we will be having teams of interdisciplinary teams of students in the community to provide health education and health promotion. Medical students, nursing students, physician assistants, social workers, rehab counselors, et cetera. They'll be there to learn how to engage community members, how to work in a team, and how to impact those social determinants of health, which again I think is going to help us have a big impact on poverty and ultimately a positive economic impact in the community. If it's okay, I'd like to recognize Ms. Maldonado, who may want to say a couple of words.
Good evening. I'm Lydia Maldonado. I'm from San Carlos. I'm a businesswoman, and I thank you all for all the help you have given us. San Carlos has been a small town. Hardly anything is there, you know. In fact, we got the only station there that's full service. You go and they pump the gas for you. You will never see that again, I guess. So I'm very happy. AHEC has been a big help to us for the people of San Carlos. And the people of San Carlos are a little shy at first, but now they know all the service you all have been helping us with. AHEC has been a big help to us. And thank you all for having us, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments from anyone? Commissioner?
Yes, I'd just like to say that to our university, thank you so much for your passion and your commitment to this community. It's obvious by the challenges that we have with parking that the place is being utilized, and we thank you for that. And thank you for that challenge. It's a very much welcome challenge, and just thank you for everything you do. To our board members, Alicia was instrumental, and Ms. Maldonado and the board, thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you very much. The opportunity for a photo. Okay, thank you.
How are you? Good.
Doc, good to see you.
This is good?
Always. Good to see that is. Thank you very much. Of course. Right, you're an important person.
Yes, he is.
Commissioner.
Okay, on the count of three, please. 1, 2, and 3. That's good.
Thank you again.
Thanks for
Thank
being
you very
here.
much for all you
Appreciate
do.
your time.
Thank you for all you do.
Appreciate your time very much. Yes, sir. Good to see you. Tocayo.
Okay. Let's go back to item number 4, the approval of the consent agenda. Do we have any items to pull?
Yes, sir. With your permission, Judge Commissioners, I'd like to pull from the consent agenda items 8C, 8D, 17E, and 17F.
Motion to approve the rest of the consent.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 8C and D.
Yes,
17E.
8C, D, E, and F.
Mr. Guerra. Mr. Guerra.
Yes, I see that.
No, Julia needed to do something.
We didn't hear you. I didn't hear you.
We're on consent.
We're on consent.
So, Ms. Marty, could you
Yes.
please, just
On,
real quickly, 8C, 8D, and 17E?
There's, okay. 8C and 8D, no action. 17E, I'm recommending approval, subject under final mathematical review. There's a little bit of tweaking we need to do. And on consent agenda, 17U.
Well, let's take care of 17E.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion to approve with Marty's recommendation.
Second.
Okay, 17U,
Hold on.
sorry.
Okay, that's the Pitney Bowes.
The
lease.
Pitney Bowes, yes.
Okay.
We're just a little
We have a
bit
motion to approve, subject to your change
final
in the math.
mathematical review.
And the second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
On
So-
17U, there's just a small correction of a typo. It should correctly read, it is the approval of the final extension with Dr. Gregorio Pina as opposed to final negotiated agreement.
And Marty, and 17W, and that's my fault, I failed those two. 17W is no
Also
action.
no action.
So, those two, Judge Commissioners, would be amending the original motion to include 17U and W.
You need to rescind and go back.
Okay, so if we can ask the court to rescind the approval of the,
I have a motion to rescind the prior motions and votes.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Let's try it one more time.
All right. On 8,
No.
just the 7,
8C and D.
no, that's already been done, and so now we.
No, we
Just
gotta go back
17.
and do the whole thing.
You wanna
but we
do-
they
We rescinded
rescinded it.
everything.
Because they approved it with U and W.
Right, so I'm going to,
Apologize. We need to do it.
Handle the no action items. Which ones are
yes.
they?
8C and 8D and 17W, all those three are no action.
Okay.
Okay, then our 17E, that is recommendation to approve, subject to final mathematical review.
May I have a
And-
motion for that?
Move for approval. Second.
All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And
Next one.
17U, it's just the correction as opposed to saying final negotiated agreement, it's going to say final extension for Dr. Gregorio Pina.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now you can approve consent with
As a
those
whole.
additional items that are missing.
Okay, may I have a motion?
That doesn't make sense. How do you want us
You've
to
got
do
to
it?
remove the items that you just took care of.
So we're gonna approve the rest of the consent.
That's
The rest of
correct.
the consent
The
agenda.
remainder.
Make a motion to approve the rest of the consent.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're on the roll now. 6A, proclamation declaring January 2020.
Good afternoon, Judge Commissioners. Julia Sullivan, Public Affairs, presenting item 6A under the Hidalgo County Criminal District Attorney Ricardo Rodriguez Jr.'s office. It's a proclamation declaring January 2020 National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month. And if I can ask the DA and his staff to join us. Whereas National Slavery and Human Trafficking Awareness Month was first proclaimed in 2016 to call attention to the injustice of modern slavery and human trafficking that still occurs in too many places around the world, including here in the United States. And whereas as we continue our fight to deliver on the promise of freedom, we commemorate the Emancipation Proclamation, which became effective on January 1st, 1863, and the 13th Amendment, which was sent to the states for ratification on February 1st, 1865. Throughout the month of January 2020, we highlight the many fronts in the ongoing battle for civil rights, including the efforts of Hidalgo County Criminal District Attorney's Office and the Rio Grande Valley Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force, which is comprised of federal, state, regional, and local law enforcement agencies, prosecutors, victim service agencies, and social service providers in Hidalgo County who are working to end human trafficking. And whereas the victims of human trafficking are men and women, adults and children, yet all are denied basic human dignity and freedom. Victims can be abused in their own countries or find themselves far from home and vulnerable. Whether they're trapped in forced sexual or labor exploitation, human trafficking victims cannot walk away, but are held in service through force, threats, and fear. All too often suffering from horrible physical and sexual abuse, it is difficult for them to imagine that there might be a place of refuge. And whereas we must join together as a community in Hidalgo County to provide a safe haven by protecting victims and prosecuting traffickers, with improved victim identification, medical and social services, training for first responders, and increased public awareness, the men, women, and children who have suffered this scourge can overcome the bonds of modern slavery, receive protection and justice, and successfully reclaim their rightful independence. And whereas fighting of human trafficking is a shared responsibility, this month it's urged that all Hidalgo County residents educate themselves about all forms of modern slavery and the signs and consequences of human trafficking. Together we can and must end this most serious ongoing criminal civil rights violation. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim January 2020 as National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month, culminating with National Freedom Day on February 1st, and calls upon the people of Hidalgo County to observe this month with appropriate programs and activities and to recognize the vital role that we can play in ending human trafficking. Presented this 28th day of January 2020.
So, second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And here to say a few words is our DA Crime Victim Unit Director, Rosie.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. First of all, we are here again before you to thank you for the support that you've given us in our prevention efforts. We greatly appreciate the entire county coming together to create prevention awareness on this topic because it's a very important topic in our community. And we also want to recognize all the agencies that are here today standing with us. They're part of the Rio Grande Valley Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force that has been led by our office under the administration of Mr. Ricardo Rodriguez and through support of the Buffett McCain Institute to combat modern-day slavery. So today we have Texas DPS Regional Director Victor Escalon here with us. We have Chief Victor Rodriguez from McAllen PD, Chief Luengo from FAR PD, and Assistant Chief Juan Gonzalez, also from FAR PD. Hidalgo County Precinct 4 Constable J.R. Gaitan, Hidalgo County Precinct 3 Larry Gallardo, Hidalgo County Precinct 3 Martin Marty Cantu, and Hidalgo County Precinct 1 Celestino Avila. We also have HIDA Commander Juan Cifuentes. We have Assistant Police Chief from Mission PD Jody Tittle. We have Huesaco PD, La Jolla PD, Edinburgh PD, the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, the Hidalgo County Juvenile Probation Department, Tamar's Tapestry, Mujeres Unidas, BCFS Common Thread Program, Refugee Services of Texas, Palms Behavioral Center, the LRGVDC, DHR SAFE Program, Behavioral Health Solutions, and many others that are coming together with us to be able to stand against human trafficking in Hidalgo County. So once again, we thank you for the support that you've given us, and I'm going to pass it on to our DA, Mr. Ricardo Rodriguez.
Thank you, Rosie. Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Again, we appreciate your continued support and everything, not only that the DA's office does, but also, as you can see, every other agency that's part of Hidalgo County. Human trafficking, modern day slavery, it is an egregious criminal civil rights violation. And I can tell you that all of Hidalgo is doing the best that they can to be able to bring as much prevention and awareness. And we appreciate the proclamation. And it is right to acknowledge all the agencies that are here, and also those that are not here that have participated, because they have gone far above and beyond to do everything that they can to combat human trafficking. And it's not just our office, it's every person here that has somehow, some way helped out, and not only combating, but also helping the victims that are out there. Human trafficking does exist here in the Rio Grande Valley. I can say that it's not as bad as it is up north, but we have to do everything we can to continue bringing prevention awareness to make sure that we combat human trafficking, and victims know that there's a voice for them, that there's someone here that can help them. So on behalf of the District Attorney's Office and on behalf of everyone that's here, and I must thank also the office, our victim advocates, our crime victims unit, again, day in, day out, they do tremendous work here at the office in providing victim services. And again, thank you to everyone who's here, who has joined us, and continue to support not only the office, but Hidalgo County citizens in protecting and serving and keeping our community safe. So thank you, Judge, Commissioners, again for your full support and your continued support. And God bless all our citizens of Hidalgo County. Thank you.
Thank
Which way you want to move it?
If you can't see the photographer clearly, please position yourself between shoulders. If you can't see her, she can't see you.
Which is taking a picture.
Okay, on the count of three, everyone, please. 1, 2, and 3. Smile. Thank you. Hold it. Oh, Rose. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Chief, how are you, sir? I'm doing well, thank you. Hi, Rosie.
I'm doing great. Yes, sir, absolutely. Thank you for being here.
Good. Good to see you again. Yes, sir. Take care.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
I know what it was.
I have it on my calendar.
Hey, Chief.
On my calendar.
How are you? Yes, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you. Good to see you.
Oh, I gave it to, what's her name? They're upstairs, but I think they get it in my office. Yes, absolutely. Yes, Ivana has it. Yes. No, I gave you the rest.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all very much for understanding. Next item on the agenda is item 6B with the District Attorney's Office.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Rosalinda Cantu.
You want to
for the
get
dis-
the other one too? There you go.
Rosalinda Cantu presenting for the District Attorney's Office. Item 6B, DA's Office, Domestic Violence Unit Grant Fund 1281. Numbers 1 and 2 are asking for approval to apply for the New Year DV Unit Grant, and we're also requesting approval of the resolution to designate the county judge as a grantee's authorized official and to sign documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6C, DA McCain Institute ASU Fund 1281. We're asking for approval of number 1, requesting approval to amend the agreement between the McCain Institute for International Leadership at Arizona State University and the Hidalgo County Office of the Criminal District Attorney, and authorization for the county judge to sign amended agreement.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6D, we're asking for approval of numbers 1 and 2, asking for approval to apply for the FY 2020 Hidalgo County Domestic Violence Specialty Prosecutor Grant, as well as requesting approval of resolution to designate the county judge as the grantee's authorized official and to sign documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 7A.
Afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Chief Herrera with the Sheriff's Office, Hidalgo County. Item 7A, DOJ US MS U.S. Marshals 1284, 1 through 3. Number 1, approval to accept additional overtime funding from the U.S. Department of Justice, United States Marshal Service, for one officer in the amount of $11,250 per officer for fiscal year 2020, October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2020, for a grand total of $15,000. Number 2, requesting authorization to continue to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions. Number 3, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for fiscal year 2020 DOJ U.S. MS overtime funds in additional amount of $11,250 and appropriation of same.
So move for approval. We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
7B, 1 through 4. Sheriff's Office Operation Stone Garden 1284. 1, authorization and approval to accept the grant adjustment notice in reference to Operation Stone Garden fiscal year 2017 supplemental award of $47,662.57 and authorization for the county judge as authorized official to certify grant adjustment on e-grants. 2, authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions. 3, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor of fiscal year 2017 Operation Stone Garden Supplement. And 4, approval and appropriation of budget for the Sheriff's Office fiscal year 2017 supplemental in the amount of $47,662.57.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
7C, 1 through 3. Sheriff's Office at JLEO DEA OSADEF 1284. Number 1, approval to accept fiscal year 2020 U.S. Department of Justice Authorized Criminal Drug Enforcement Task Force OSADEF overtime agreement in the amount of $5,000 in reference to investigation number SW-TXS-1140. 2, authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions. And 3, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for fiscal year 2020 OSADEF overtime agreement in the amount of $5,000 and appropriate of the same. Appropriation of the same.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
7D, 1 and 2, authorization and approval for revenues of memorandum of understanding between the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE Enforcement of Removal Operations ERO San Antonio Field Office SNA Port Isabel Detention Center Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office in regards to certain emergency situations, and 2, authorization for the sheriff to sign the document.
Move for approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
7E, discussion and consideration and approval to appoint Eduardo Martinez, student at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, as an intern at the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office Law Enforcement Internship Program for a period of February 2020 through May 2020.
Move for approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
7F, Jail Commissary, approval of certification of revenues by the county auditor.
So moved. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you all. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Item 8A, Constable Precinct 1.
Good afternoon, Commissioners and Judge. Agenda item 74055, discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint Jose Acuna as a reserve deputy constable by Constable Celestino Avila Jr., Constable Precinct 1, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code, Section 86012.
So moved. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Agenda item 74054, requesting authorization and approval to purchase promotional items under public purpose pursuant to Texas Constitution, Article 3, Section 52, but not limited to tablecloths, banners, pens, pencils, junior deputy badges, and etc. items. These items will be used to inform, relate progress, educate, and report important information to our constituents on aspects of numerous projects, programs, and events.
So moved. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item 9A.
Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. Deputy Guard of the Constable's Office, Precinct 2.
Item 1, presentation and discussion of 2019 racial profiling report by Hidalgo County Council for Precinct 2 Department in accordance with the Article 2.134 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedures.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Item 10A.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Today we have requesting approval to purchase promotional items, public purchase, to include but not to limit to pencils, notebooks, school boxes, school pouches, plastic bags for promotional items, activity books, cinch bags, crayons, deputy badge stickers, lanyards, stress balls, keychains, and computer cleaning cloth. These items will be used to inform, relate progress, educate, and report information to our constituents on aspects dealing with public safety and education.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 11A.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Constable Precinct 4, LBSP Fiscal Year 21, 1284. Authorization and approval to apply for the Local Border Security Program, LBSP Fiscal Year 21 grant with the Office of the Governor's Homeland Security Division through e-grants. 8.2, authorization for the county judge to e-sign application under e-grants as authorized official. 3, approval of resolution for LBSP 21, fiscal year 21, grant to designate Judge Richard Cortez as grantees authorized official to sign required document. Grant period September 1st, 2020 through August 31st, 2021.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
11B, discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint John David Flores as Reserve Deputy Constable by myself, Constable Gaitan, Constable Precinct 4, in accordance with the Texas Local Government Code Section 86.012.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
all I've got, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Go away. Thank you. Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, item 12. There is no action under item 12A 1 and 2 this afternoon. Item 12B, I'm going to ask Mr. Michael Cano, to come to the podium. Discussion and action on resolution authorizing the resale of certain struck-off properties, and there is an attached list. Mr. Cano?
That is correct. Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Just for the record, Michael Cano, Linebarger. The first item is 12B1, and these are 16 properties that we put up for tax sale before, but that were not, we did not receive bids on. So we're asking for the authorization to put them out for sale again at a tax resale.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
The second item is 12B2, Judge, and that is discussion and consideration on the approval of some private bids that were received in our office. There's 2 particular properties that received private bids. One is by the City of Mission. They would like to purchase about 7.5 acres that was actually foreclosed on about 19 years ago. And so this property has been in the care of the county, along with all the other taxing jurisdictions, has not been assessed taxes for the past 19 years. The City of Mission would like to pay all the outstanding taxes and assume responsibility for that property. It is a landlocked piece of property between 2 subdivisions, and I believe they want to use that for drainage purposes, so we are recommending approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
And just the second one, the second item on that particular.
Let me call the.
Well, actually, it's the same. It's the same one. Okay. So I know if you approve that item, you're going to approve the second one as well.
Go ahead.
So just before, I want to clarify that the second one is a private bid for a property. It's an irregular residential lot that was just struck off this past September. The neighboring gentleman would like to purchase that property, and he's paying the full amount of taxes as if he had purchased it at the tax sale. And under those circumstances, we do recommend approval of that item as well.
Motion to approve both items.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you much.
Judge Commissioners, if I may continue, item C is approval to purchase real property located within the Cibolo Industrial Park subdivision in accordance with the terms of the real estate sales contract approved by Commissioners Court with authority for the county judge and/or executive officer to execute the closing documents of such real property acquisition. That would be the first action item.
Move for approval?
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Second action item would be
We did
authority.
good on that one.
I'm sorry?
We did good on that one.
Yes, most definitely. The second action item would be authority for county treasurer to issue payment via a wire transfer, and this is requested by the title company after review and auditing procedures are completed by our county auditor.
Move for approval?
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item D, I'm asking the court to accept the settlement, or its approval to accept settlement agreement offer from Jamera in the amount of $832.96. This will settle in auto damages to one of our county vehicles.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And second is approval to authorize Valdeguerra, I'm asking authority as the county executive officer to sign the general release form to settle the auto damages with Jamera.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item E is approval to accept the settlement check from State Farm Insurance Company in the amount of $4,896.10, and this will settle damages to County Sally Port exit door, and this was at our Juvenile Justice Center.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Last action item is approval to accept settlement check from National Liability and Fire Insurance Company in the amount of $6,902.52, and this will settle damages to County Utility Light Pole.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item 13A.
Mr. Silguero. Jeez.
I see you a little more más gordito. Is he bacon or not?
No, sir, it's the muscle now. I'm putting on muscle, so
It's muscle mass? Okay.
He was
all
at
right.
McDonald's too long. I saw him there at 10.
Just an observation.
Yes,
Item
sir.
very subjective.
good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Raul Seguero, Human Resources. Item A, is it 13A, I guess? I got a hold of it. It's 13A. First, requesting a waiver of the budget amendment policy for personnel-related amendments for personnel items that are listed. So we need a approval on the waiver.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, a few weeks ago, the court appointed a new facilities director, and so we're asking now to set the compensation for that employee, for that position. The employee will begin employment on February the 3rd, next Monday. So we're asking approval and all appropriate action to set the compensation for the director, facilities management, effective 2/3/2020, and the court, well, we had discussed with the applicant the salary of a grade 21, step 8.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C, 449th District Court, approval of the following personnel actions effective full pay period, subject to funding. The court is asking to increase the interpreter pay allowance to bailiff, slot number 004, bailiff 2, from $3,000 to $4,000, and to add interpreter pay allowance to slot 003, court coordinator, $2,000. Each court is allowed $6,000 for interpretation expenses, and some of them give it to one employee, some of them split it between several. We recommend approval.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Was the typographical error corrected on the, what are you showing, 4,000 or 40,000?
No, it should be 4,000, that's right, and it was posted, that is an error on the
Okay.
posting, it is
Just
not 40,000.
Make sure that's correct.
It is 4,000. There's an extra zero on the,
I'm sorry, yes, there is an, it's 4,000, right?
It's 4,000.
4,000 and 2,000.
Yeah, make sure.
40,000.
No.
I can interpret pretty good. Item D, for Precinct 4 road maintenance and road administration. approval to rescind action on agenda item 73776. In this particular item, we inadvertently deleted a position that had already been deleted because the salary schedule for 2020 was not posted on our computers at that time because it was being finalized. So we ended up deleting the position twice. So we're asking approval to rescind that particular action.
So
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2, approval of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period, 2/3/2020. Precinct 4 is asking approval to delete 3 positions, slot 008, slot 0077, slot 0084, titles and grades as listed, and to create 3 positions, slot 0013, 0112, 0113, titles and positions and grades as listed. So they're deleting 3 positions and creating 3 positions. It's road and bridge funds from the precinct. No impact on the general fund.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item E, for the Health Department, this is a grant. The department is asking approval to delete 1 position. It's got 2 slots because 1 slot pays a salary and the other slot pays a longevity. So we're asking permission to delete slot 0011 and slot A103, health technician, grade 7, at a great salary and allowance that's listed. It's not, funding was not renewed, so we're asking approval to delete. So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Judge and Commissioners, item F relates to a need to maintain jail standards in terms of nurses. They're asking approval to set the salary into field slot 280002, 0002, registered nurse 4 at a grade 17, step 4, effective next full pay period 2/3. This particular position will be filled by a former nurse that was in that position, and we were able to convince her to come back in order to meet the staffing patterns that are required.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item G, for the District Attorney's Office, they're asking approval of the following personnel actions effective upon Commissioner's Court approval. They're asking permission to delete, approval to delete slot. This is 1 position with 2 slots. Most of them have 2 slots because they get funded from 2 sources. Delete slot 0018 and 0128, personnel specialist 4. And to create slot 0177 and slot 0227, program coordinator 2, same grade. It has no impact funding-wise.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you, Judge and Commissioners.
Thank you very much, Raul. Item 14B.
Judge, Commissioners, Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health. Item 14B, requesting approval of the contract training agreement between South Texas College and Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. The purpose of the agreement is to have STC provide biannual training on medical records privacy, HB 300, and HIPAA training.
Have a motion.
Second.
Have a motion to approve, and a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C, sir, Health Department CBS Hazards Grant, requesting approval to submit requesting approval to submit renewal grant application and budget for the CPS Hazards Program FY21. The award amount is $592,548. And the program period will be in effect from July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. This program requires a 10% local match, which is part of our annual budget and been reviewed with Budget Office already.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I vote aye. Motion carries.
Item D is under Healthcare Funding District, discussion and consideration and approval to draw down funds for demonstration year 9, advance UC or uncompensated care payment, and the amount to be determined by Health and Human Service Commission, instructions from general fund and the local provider participation fund, LPPF, with a transfer date of February 4th, 2020, and a settlement date of February 5th, 2020. The general fund amount is $4,122,786.44. And the local provider participation fund is in the amount of $6,995,551.98 for a total of $11,118,338.42, all in accordance with the budget office and our auditor's office as well.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B is approval of appropriations of funds for the local provider participation fund in the amount to be determined by Health and Human Services Commission, which was the amount was $6,995,551.98.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C is discussion and action, including but not limited to indigent health care and the 1115 waiver and/or expenditures. I have no topics unless you have any questions. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Item 15A, Head Start Program.
Good afternoon. We have 4 items. The first one is discussion approval to rescind approval by Policy Council on 10/16/19 and by Commissioners Court on 10/22/2019 to enter into a memorandum of understanding MOU between Hidalgo County Head Start Program and Texas A&M University Health Science Center. The entity did not believe that the MOU was the appropriate contract to have, so we needed to go in and request that it be rescinded and then approve an interagency cooperation contract. And so this is what this is. It's exchanging one type of document for another. The services remain the same. This is for asthma services for children in all our centers. So we recommend approval to rescind.
And how did you find out that you used the wrong document?
They contacted us that the entity chose to use the more appropriate contract for them was the interagency cooperation.
And who reviews the contract on your behalf?
Our attorney and your attorneys.
Okay. I have a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Letter B is presentation for discussion, consideration, and approval to enter into an interagency cooperation contract between Hidalgo County Head Start Program and Texas A&M University Health Science Center.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Letter C, discussion to approve, discussion/approval to declare obsolete the attached list of items and transfer items to the county's approved auctioneer vendor for proper disposition. And the list was included in there.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And the last one is discussion approval to declare obsolete the attached, discussion approval of the self-assessment schedule. The self-assessment schedule runs from January the 27th to the February the 7th. It is a requirement of the Office of Head Start that we examined the meeting of all the standards, and so we have our staff involved in the process and parents, and you are invited to participate at any time and join any of the different teams that are out there at the centers. We will go in there and even take at least 2 files from every classroom. We have 186 of them, and look at what's in the files and make sure that all of the records and information that we have are properly done. We comply with over 1,800 standards, and so this is what the process is for, and to look for any areas that might need improvement. So we're asking for approval to move forward with the self-assessment process.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you very much.
Motion carries. We're on to 3 now.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you.
17A.
Not 16.
I'm sorry,
16A.
16A.
Judge, if I may, this is with respect to emergency management, and this is with Chief Saldana. from your
I
from
believe
your office.
we're not going to take any action
That's
on this item.
right. That's what I was going to say. That so, and that would pertain to 2.
Okay, 16A, 1 and 2,
Two.
okay, no action. Item 17A,
Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. Item 17A is discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve the master licensing agreement with Timeclock Plus LLC for fiscal year 2020 with authorization for Jaime Longoria to electronically sign any and all pertinent documents pending legal review. We've already executed that legal review, Judge. The DA's office has reviewed the document, and it's good to go. For the record, we've always had a biometric clock. What we're doing is we're upgrading systems, we're changing systems so that we have the ability to open up satellite locations and have our staff be able to clock in at a satellite location, as well as to be compatible with our accounting software.
Move for approval?
Second.
those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 17B is discussion, consideration, and action on amendment to the fiscal year 2020 Community Services Block Grant, contract number 612-00003225 with the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs for program year 2020 with authorization for Jaime Longoria to electronically sign any and all pertinent documents. Judge and Commissioners, there is a typo. I apologize for that. It's a 2019 CSBG contract. The contract number is the same, but it should be program year 2019. The net change to that is we took $1,200 from the contractual and moved it up into personnel and into fringe. It's for a position that we will be bringing back to court at the next Commissioner's Court.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioner.
18A,
Judge, Commissioners, item AI 73809, discussion, consideration, and action on agreement between Hidalgo County and Texas Workforce Solutions to implement a work experience / subsidized employment program. I'm asking for 6 slots provided by Workforce Commission. They will be 100% funded by Workforce Commission, no cost to the county. And we'll be using the employees to help with our deployment of computers as per the Dell lease agreement.
And they get some experience and stuff?
Yes, sir.
That's the whole purpose of it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Second.
we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
$19A,
Good afternoon, Judge. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Yvonne Ramon with the Elections Department with item 19A, discussion, consideration, and approval of early voting polling locations for the March 3rd, 2020 primary elections. We're being handed the election schedule. I had emailed everyone the schedules for your review, and there was just one change.
when did you do that?
2 weeks ago, I emailed everyone in your office that is on my list. Commissioners, did you receive yours?
Yes, ma'am.
It's been about 2 weeks. Yes. I'll go over those that are on your list. So they're the same as they've always been. The only change was the election schedule that I send you, the early voting election schedule that I send you had Faith Baptist Church in Palmhurst, and we were not able to, Commissioner Flores and Sarah and I have been communicating. So that was removed. Other than that, the other locations remain the same.
And how do you call it, mobile units?
They are no longer allowed. Mobile units have now become permanent locations. But we have included that location, Cantu, into the, and it was already part of the election day. Again, keeping in mind that during the primary, the parties are the ones that choose election day poll locations. This court is responsible to choose early vote.
So the one that you emailed 2 weeks ago is the same as this one here?
Except for the removal of Faith Baptist that was not allowing us to use that facility. And so I said in my email that I would be working with Commissioner Flores, and we have.
Okay, but see, when I reviewed the agenda, I did not have any changes yesterday to review the agenda to be prepared for this meeting.
That was noted in the 2 weeks ago, that the only change would possibly be that location that Commissioner Flores would be helping us with.
And that's fine, I just wanted to know what.
You know, you're going to handle it in Palmers, right? Palmers.
I'm sorry?
Palmhurst?
In Palmhurst, exactly. And so late yesterday, we finally got the notification from Commissioner Flores' office, and that's why that one was pending. But everything else is the same from 2 weeks ago. I do need approval.
Move approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
The other sheet behind the schedule is just for your information, letting you know that the last day to register to vote and letting the community know is this upcoming Monday, February 3rd. My office will be open until 7 p.m. to make sure that anyone who needs to register to vote or make changes has accessibility to our office. Keeping in mind that early vote is around the corner. Tuesday, February 18th will be the first day of early vote. That's just informational. Item 19B is discussion, consideration, and approval for payout overtime hours to be worked in the preparation of the March 3rd, 2020 primary election by the Hidalgo County Elections Department permanent staff, who will work the election cycle beginning January 13th, 2020 until June 12th, 2020 in accordance with the Hidalgo County Civil Service Commission rules.
Move approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Number 2 is the approval of the 2020 interdepartmental transfer from countywide admin contingency to elections department to fund overtime and fringes expenses.
Move approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C is requesting authorization and approval to purchase promotional items under public purpose pursuant to Texas Constitution, Article 3, Section 52, but not limited to tablecloths, banners, pens, pencils, etc. These items will be used to inform, relate, progress, educate, and report important information to our constituents on aspects of numerous projects, program, and events related to elections.
So moved.
Second?
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Judge Commissioners. TJ Arredondo with the Planning Department. The first item is up for preliminary approval with a variance request. Citrus Village Number 2 subdivision in Precinct 4 is a 48-lot subdivision in a flood zone X. Drainage is a storm sewer system in detention by widening the existing drain ditch. It was approved by the City of Edinburgh. Water is provided by North Alamo Water Supply and sanitary sewer by the City of Edinburgh. There are also an estimated 6 streetlights proposed and 2 internal streets are to be paved. The variance is to reduce the front setback from 25 feet to 20 feet. We recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Yes,
All these are preliminary approvals. Where are we with the issue with the Alamo Water Supply?
Judge, nothing has changed as far as the county regulation, the county rule. That's all I can tell you at this point. We're still in communication with North Alamo. We have a meeting tomorrow, actually, tomorrow afternoon. But nothing has changed as far as the county is concerned.
Well, are they going to be able to continue with the subdivision?
If they receive preliminary approval today, sir, yes. And they're well aware that there is a question with North Alamo with regard to that. And I had them document in writing that they were aware of it.
Okay, well, let the record so show. So we have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Next 5 items are up for preliminary approval. First item, Little Prairie South subdivision in Precinct 1 is a 1-lot subdivision in a flood zone X. Drainage is natural percolation and surface runoff onto Engelman roadside ditch. It's in the rural area of the county. Water is provided by North Alamo Water Supply and septic tanks will be used. We recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Next item, the Estates at Paloma Park subdivision in Precinct 4 is an 8-lot subdivision in a flood zone B and AH. A letter of map revision based on fill will be required before final to change the flood zone from AH to flood zone X. Drainage is natural percolation and surface runoff onto Alberta roadside ditch. It was approved by the City of Edinburgh. Water will be provided by North Alamo Water Supply and septic tanks will be used. We recommend approval.
So moved.
You know, Judge, you all make sure that you all get together and resolve that matter, because.
We have an item, I think, in executive session that we're going to talk about. also,
Okay,
Judge.
all right. We have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Next item, Ranchettes on Monte Cristo subdivision in Precinct 1 is a 10-lot subdivision in a flood zone X. Drainage is a storm sewer system and detention by widening the existing drain ditch. It is in the rural area of the county. Water will be provided by North Alamo Water Supply and septic tanks will be used. Also, an estimated 4 streetlights are proposed as well as 2 internal streets. We recommend approval.
So moved. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Next item, Alondra La Blanca Phase 2 subdivision in Precinct 4 is a 44-lot subdivision in a flood zone X and an AH with a Clomar case number 15-06-1828C approved by FEMA. Drainage is a storm sewer system and detention by widening the existing drain ditch. It was approved by the City of Elsa. Water is provided by North Alamo Water Supply Corporation and septic tanks will be used. Also, an estimated 9 street lights are proposed and 3 internal streets are to be paved. We recommend approval.
So moved. Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is San Lucio number 4 subdivision in Precinct 1, a 68-lot subdivision in a flood zone C. Drainage is a storm sewer system and detention by widening the existing drain ditch. It was approved by the City of Donna. Water is provided by North Alamo Water Supply Corporation and septic tanks will be used. An estimated 10 streetlights are proposed and 3 internal streets are to be paved. We recommend approval.
Approval. Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
The next 2 subdivisions are for final approval. First item, Orlando and Sonia Garcia subdivision in Precinct 3 is a 2-lot subdivision in a flood zone C. Drainage is natural percolation and runoff onto brush line roadside ditch. It was approved by the City of Mission. Water is provided by Agua Sud and the septic tanks have been installed. We recommend final approval.
Approval. Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Last item is the Angel Estate subdivision in Precinct 3, a 2-lot subdivision in a flood zone C. Drainage is natural percolation and runoff onto Mile 3 North roadside ditch. It was approved by the City of Mission. Water is provided by Agua Sud and the septic tanks have been installed. We're recommending approval.
Approval. Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, TJ.
21A.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Pepe Cabeza de Vaca on behalf of Commissioner David Fuentes, Hidalgo County Precinct 1. Item 21A, agenda item 74082, discussion, consideration, and action on interlocal cooperation agreement between County of Hidalgo and the City of Mercedes.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
21B, agenda item 74152, Precinct 1 is requesting authorization and approval to, number 1, rename CR 1640 Justman Frankenthal Property Subdivision in Precinct 1 to Butler Road as recommended by the Lower Rio Grande Valley 911 Department.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
B2, name a dedicated county road between Green Meadows Tract and Valverde Tract off of South Valverde Road to La Tuna Road as recommended by the Lower Rio Grande Valley 911 Department.
Approval. Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioner. Have a good day.
Item 22A.
Good afternoon, Dr. Jennifer Mendoza Culbertson, Precinct 4. Agenda item 73988, pursuant to Texas Local Government Code, Section 157.903, requesting approval of indemnification in the amount of $100 for counterfeit bill received.
So move. Approval. Second. Those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And just for the record, we are working with entities and the auditor's office for this particular type of situation.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Item 23A, City of Cruz Department of Budget Management, is the status update on the Hidalgo County Wellness Program. I'm here to present is Ms. Diana Walker.
Thank you. Good afternoon, County Commissioners, Judge Diana Hualpa from the Wellness Program. Today I would like to present the 2019 Telework Utilization Report. We have provided you with a copy so we can go over some of the highlights. At the beginning of the year 2019, in January, the utilization rate was at 1.5%. And as you can see on page 2, we have currently a 13.6%. That's the equivalent to over $78,000 of net claim savings. Moreover, if we move on to page 4, we can visually see the utilization trend and a comparison between the year 2018 and 2019. It is important to mention that the copay was, there was a change in the copay for the for using Teledoc from year 2018 to year 2018, and that has positively influenced the utilization trend. And if we move to page number 5, we can see that the Teledoc visits and registrations increased, especially in the last 6 months. That's when the wellness program was launched. Since there, we have focused our efforts to continue assisting the employees in finding the resources they have available. Lastly, on page 6, we can see the cost analysis illustration, where we also have an upward trend. Thank you. Questions?
I just want to take this opportunity to let our departments know that there's been so many people sick recently, and this is the best time to encourage our employees to take advantage of Teledoc. It saves them time and money. It helps them get better, and it helps them stay out of the ERs. So let's push it, and I'm glad that we're seeing this huge increase of people using it. Let's just continue to encourage people. I've never used it. I haven't needed to use it. But if they have any questions, I refer them to Diana and Flora. But this is a great deal for our employees, and it'll help them stay healthy and not have to wait in a doctor's office. So it's awesome.
I just wanted to add a little comment to that. I think that the key here is informing our employees of the benefits that they have. I think when there was a little bit more concentrated effort on that, we are able to see those spikes. And hopefully with what's upcoming, with the rest of the healthcare changes that we have, we'll see those kinds of changes as well, and a healthier staff.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Item 23B is a follow-up from last week's agenda item, is approval of Hidalgo County's participation in the Aetna Vera Whole Health Program.
So moved.
Second?
Sergio, I want to make sure we're trying to save money, and I understand what you're trying to do, and I agree with what you're trying to do. I'm just not sure what evidence you have to support that there will be a savings. Did you poll the employees as to how many would go to the clinic as opposed to a provider?
No, we didn't do any individual polling for our county employees. This is based on evidence from prior programs that they've done in other areas of the state and other areas of the country. So basically, that's how they basically determine their projected savings for this program.
Because as I understand the program, you're establishing a clinic, making it easier for them, for the employees to go to the clinic, but we're going to have a fixed cost every month, whether they use it or don't use it. We're going to have a fixed cost. So if they don't start using it and continue to go to the providers that we have, then we're in trouble. So
Correct. And right now, we estimated there's roughly about 60% that don't have a medical home right now, so they don't have a regular provider that they go to. And as we've heard before in other commentary where employees have been saying, well, I need to wait till payday before I go to the doctor. So this will basically help us do that, is help us eliminate barriers to health care. And based on other successes that they've had in other areas of the country, we believe that we should follow that success.
Okay, what if we're wrong? What's our fallback position? How do we get out of a bad deal? I'm hoping for a bad deal. I'm hoping that you'll save that $1 million exactly. That you're trying to save. But
yeah, we do expect that we should have those savings, but in the event that the program is not successful, we would basically have the same out clauses that we do with Aetna, because really the agreement between us is really participating in Aetna's program. So we would give them notice that we're no longer going to participate, and at that point, then we would just terminate our relationship with Aetna, not necessarily with Vera.
But how long? If we approve this today, how long are we stuck with what's it, $45,000 a month or something?
Yes, per member as they enroll. We have minimum. They've actually reduced it in other areas of the country. They have 100% requirement. So 100% of the people that are in the program or in the plan need to subscribe to that program. Here as this is an introduction to South Texas into this program, they've reduced that threshold to where we have 1,000 members for the first 6 months. That's the minimum, and then up to 2,000 after a year. So basically, we would only be required to have about a third of our population in this
But
program.
once we say it's not working,
It should be the same out clause, I think, that we have with Aetna in
but
their
what is it?
contract.
What is it?
I believe it's a
You
90
tell me
day.
it's the same.
I believe it's a 90-day out.
90-day out. So,
Correct.
so if we, after 3 months, we decide that it's not working, we still have to go 3 months within the program.
Correct.
Okay, so the total exposure, the worst that can happen is 6 times 45,000, más o menos?
45 times 12 times 2,000, or at the beginning it's 1,000. So I think I had calculated to be just a little bit less than $1 million, which is the annual,
That's for 12 months.
yes, annually.
But at 6 months, it's going to kick into 2,000 employees.
What was that, Commander?
After 6 months, it becomes 2,000 employees.
After 6 months, it jumps to 1,500 members. And
Wow.
then from
So-
there, after a year, it's 2,000 members.
Well, I think we need to do it, but somebody better be on top of it.
Yes.
That employees aren't signing up or aren't using it. You need to go tell them that, hey.
Correct. There will be a big blitz to let the employees know, and we're also going to form a committee of all the county employees that are participating in this, also to be able to get more word of mouth out and actual experiences within this program.
What's the start date?
After we give approval, they still need to construct the facility, so I believe it's roughly about close to second quarter, late second quarter of this year.
So we need to create a timeline, Diana, working backwards.
Correct.
We need to get the ambassadors on board. We need to get in front of all our employees. We talked about maybe doing it by, what do you call it?
Departments.
What do you call it? Like satellite, like where we can have one introduction, but we announce it to the whole county instead of having to go to each department. It's too hard to go to every single department.
Well, the network that y'all are building because of this wellness is really
It's a
working
start,
well.
yeah.
It's a good start.
I'd like to add a little something, just in excitement of what is coming forth for our employees. I did a little sharing with a few of my employees, I would say about 10, 12, and just shared, the concept and the idea, and they were just so excited. They're like, when is this getting started? So
Awesome.
as we saw that spike in the teledoc with that communication to the employees and letting them know of what they had available in benefits, I think with the ambassadors and everything that we have outlined and planned, I think this is going to prove to be a
Well,
true
they
cost
pay
savings.
zero.
Yeah,
Right,
They pay
exactly, zero
yeah.
copay.
But-
And I can honestly say that a good number of my employees do not have, really high salaries. So for them, this is
No, no,
excellent, an
I
excellent
just-
benefit.
We're also going to incorporate this into the
You wish the best, but
new
plan for the
employee
worst.
orientation. So that'll be also included in the new
Yes.
employee orientation.
Yes, sir.
And then in all the different events that we have
Yes.
scheduled throughout the rest of the year.
And then, of course, another additional piece to that is the accessibility of the 3 locations, and therefore that they're not tied to only one location. It's
Correct.
actually at 3, so.
And when's the health fair?
It's in March. We have the first one in March
What's the date?
at Precinct 1.
Oh, it's in precinct 1?
Yes, we
Yes.
have the first one in Precinct 1, then we have one at Precinct 3, and one at Precinct 2 and Precinct 4, which is the big
What date,
one.
what date is that one?
August 24, I believe, but let me just
Yeah, that's later in the year.
clear it. However, we are planning for the first health talk this upcoming Thursday, so we're going to include a presentation of all the resources that we have available for the employees. So we have Teledoc, Headline Touch Care program, the new EAP program, and then as soon as we get the approval, then we're going to continue promoting the Vera Clinic. So that's also.
I want to, when we do the one in precinct 1, I want to give it a shot doing video conferencing, because I don't want to wait till August 24th to try to introduce all these benefits to our employees. It's too long. It's, you know how you always say that I'm too much in a rush, but we got to rush health to our employees. And so we need to put it on video conference ASAP.
And if I could add also with Ms. Lora Vasquez, we're coordinating already presentations, insurance presentations to all county departments and precincts to talk about this new program. So we're going to do that the second week of February.
Well, somebody's doing a good job because that food thing that we did, I mean, it was very well attended.
Communication
It
is
was
key.
very well attended, so you all are doing a good job with that, so thanks.
Communication. So there was a motion and a second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 23C is authorization to submit the EDC program application and affidavit for the following Nittler Road Bridge Rehabilitation projects with authority for the county judge to sign the required documentations. And those are for CSJ 0921024445 and CSJ 0921024446.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 23D is approval of salary schedule changes as per Exhibit A in accordance with the Hidalgo County Classification and Compensation Pay Plan.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item
Motion
23
carries.
Item 23E, 1 is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for revenues received from interest earnings and other miscellaneous revenue from various capital project funds, and appropriation of those certified funds and available fund balances for these capital projects. The total amount of the appropriations is $475,851.70.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 23E2 is approval of 2020 appropriation of funds for the Justice Court Tech Fund, unassigned fund balance in the amount of $101,700.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 23E3 is approval of 2020 appropriation of funds in the amount of $30,000, and this is for the supplemental court guardianship fund.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And item 23E4 is approval of 2020 appropriation of funds for the probate court contributions fund, Fund 1243, in the amount of $45,000.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. May I have a drum roll?
Thank you.
Marty is next.
Marty.
Last but never least. 24,
You're always my favorite one.
thank you, Judge. 24A1, this is presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by the court for the responses received in connection with the request for qualifications for our professional independent audit services. The grid was uploaded. You had two participants, Burton, McCumber, and Longoria, score 475, and Cascos and Associates with a score of 443. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of those scores?
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B would be requesting authority for purchasing department to proceed and commence negotiation with the number one ranked firm of Burton, McCumber, and Longoria.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2 is pursuant to document A201, 2017, general conditions of the contract for construction, Article 14.41, for project titled CMAR Services for the County Services Facility and Justice Center with Enriquez Construction Group, LLC. Discussion, consideration, and approval to issue and send written notice to terminate the services detailed in the attached correspondence, including provisions under Article 14.4.2.
Judge, Commissioners, for the record, we do have a public participation form filled out. It is Ms. Fern McClarity on Agenda 24A2.
Right. This was going to be the building over on the expressway by the health department, or where the old DPS office was, that y'all just had to go into a contract and going to build a multi-building for all these different offices, and now you've changed your mind?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
ma'am,
can you
that's-
explain? Because
that's not
okay, what is it?
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and explain,
Yes,
Ms. Marty?
we're terminating this option that the court had, and we're going to.
We're recommending.
We're going to recommend to the court that they now go to a conventional bid for the construction of that building, as opposed to a CMAR.
Okay, because they were asking, it's still going to be it's not just one department. We heard that it possibly is now going to be just the JPs. So we understood there were different.
No, ma'am. This is for the juvenile. This is for, let me see if I can clarify. The project at hand that we're talking about is for the Precinct 4, located in Precinct 4, Justice Center, JP41, JP42, and our constable's office.
Okay.
Okay? We are having issues, have been, and will continue to have issues with our current facilities at JP41, JP42, not to mention the issue that we have with parking or the lack thereof for constituents to do business with the JPs. We have similar situation. It's not as bad, but we have a similar situation with the constable's office, given the fact that our constituents, a large percentage, go to where we're at for tax services. And so we ask everyone to please park as far back as they can, okay, to allow the constituents a closer range or a closer parking space. Okay, so this is for the Justice Center.
Okay, because it never had any other departments going there other than this at any time.
No, ma'am, that was a concept that we talked about early on. There was some movement, there was some development towards that, but county government is fluid, living organism, and so that changed. We came out with a better solution for those offices because we are out of space. But
we understand
this
that.
is for the for the Justice Center.
But that's the way it was titled.
That's how it was titled originally.
Okay, well, the public gets confused, and that's why we're asking, because y'all do shift so often. All right, thank you.
All right, and I do want to make notation that Commissioner Torres, when she came on board, brought insight with her experience with respect to when she was on the school board, okay? And so, again, this is where we're at right now with the Justice Center for the 2 JPs and the constable at Precinct 4.
Do we have a motion?
Oh, and so we're
I already read the
okay.
caption. Do we have a motion?
No, I don't think.
We have a motion and a second, please.
Motion to approve?
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3 is discussion and consideration for Hidalgo County's membership at no cost to the Tarrant County Cooperative Purchasing Program, which it will be another procurement resource for the counties. I recommend approval.
Second. First. What is it?
Second.
¿Estás esperando?
Do we have a motion and a second?
Move approval.
Yeah, this is just to allow us to go into
Yes,
the
it's another cooperative purchasing program.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 4 is presentation of qualified responsible vendor, Industrial Fabrics Incorporated, submitting the lowest and best bid for the purpose of award and approval of contract for the request for bid titled the Biaxial Geogrid Reinforcement Material.
Well, I'm glad you said that. I couldn't have read that.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5 is approval of the following change orders in connection with the construction of the new Hidalgo County Courthouse. Number 1, change order 47, a reduction of $108,860. Change order 2, item 2, change order 51, increase of $73,475.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
For Precinct 1, Item 1, B1, requesting approval of work authorization 1 in the amount of $5,477.73 as it relates to geotechnical and construction materials engineering testing services with Robert Kistner.
Move for approval?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
2A is acceptance and approval to execute the final form of professional engineering services contract for inspection with all those disciplines that are titled for Mile 6 road project from Mile 9 to Mile 11 with Thames.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
B is requesting approval of work authorization 1 with Thames Incorporated, contract number as stated, for Mile 6 road project, and this is from Mile 9, 8 is a typo, to Mile 11. I ask for approval.
So approval. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
C2, Precinct 2, C1 for Precinct 2, acceptance and approval to execute the final form of professional engineering services agreement for geotechnical construction materials testing with Terracon.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
D, Precinct 4, D1, requesting approval of work authorization 1 in the amount of $65,952.73 under the current on-call agreement with B2Z LLC for provision of project management services related to design and construction of the mechanic shop.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion
If I can just say, is this the only item y'all have, B to Z? Is this the reason that Vince Young's in the audience? Can you just stand up and give us a little, can you stand over here and give, can you stand over here and salute all the people?
You know, if anybody wondered why they couldn't tackle him, just look at him.
You want to just say hello there, Vince? Yes, he did.
Hello, Commissioner and judges. I just wanted to stop by and say thank you for everything you do in the community and giving us B2Z the opportunity to continue to make our community beautiful. So I just wanted to come here and let you guys know I'm part of that team, and we're looking forward to working with you guys more in the future. So thank you guys for having me. Well, thank you for being here as well.
I still remember that touchdown email.
I just reminded him, standing next to an Aggie mom.
Thanks, Vince.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth.
And I want to say we have a mechanic shop coming. Yay.
Yeah,
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that going to have a picture of a longhorn there? Oh,
I'll pay for that.
no? Oh, no, okay.
Yay.
Them's fighting words, Judge. D1, this is, we already did D1. D2, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A4, a professional service.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
2B, presentation of the scoring grid for purposes of ranking of the nominated firms graded and evaluated through the county's approved pool for engineering firms. They were Half Associates, Strata Group, ICE International Consulting, CAP with score 195, Strata with 191, ICE International at 183. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of those scores?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C, authority of the purchasing department to negotiate a professional services agreement for the drainage study and assessment project for precinct 4,
Move for
commencing
approval.
with the number 1 ranked firm.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
3A, rescind action by Commissioners Court on Tuesday, December 30th. This was to create an evaluation committee. We're asking and recommending that we rescind it because we only received 1 response. Therefore, the evaluation wasn't necessary.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B is acceptance and approval of the sole response received. Reviewed it for completeness and compliance with all aspects of the RFP so as to proceed with award and approval of the contract document for the project titled Nonprofit Food Distribution Services.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And that is with the, I mentioned,
RGB
the
Food
food bank, RGB. E1, Justices of the Peace, Precinct 5, Place 1. They're asking for a declaration of a public purpose for the items that are listed on the agenda and the items listed in A through D.
Move.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Health and Human Services Department, F1, discussion, consideration, approval to appoint, recommend an evaluation committee as listed below for Dental Care Provider Network for the Hidalgo County Indigent Health Care Level 2 program. And the nominated or recommended people are Direne Sarmiento and Lourdes Acevedo. I recommend approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item G1, this is for Elections Department, discussion, consideration, and applicable action regarding the restatement of an exception from the Hidalgo County's adopted accounting procedures manual, non-tribal meals, refreshments, and related expenses that took action back in 2014 for trainings only. It was specific for that. And expand this restated exception to include but not limited to the following types of election-related meetings as specifically listed on this agenda item.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
H1, Auditor's Office, approval to enter into an account management support service agreement with Beach Glen Development for the total amount of $840, which is for a 3-month period. I'm sorry, January 31st, that's correct, to April 30th of 2020, including approval for the county auditor to sign and execute the required documents subject to legal approval.
Move for approval?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Do we have anybody signed for open forum?
Yes, sir, we do. We have one participant. I will remind the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There's a 3-minute time limit. Our presenter is Ms. Fern McClarity.
Yes, I would like to make something a little clear from the last meeting that we had. There, in the contract for the Plains Capital Bank, there was a lease agreement. I believe that we are leasing back their own property after we purchase it. So I just wanted to get more information because we're still confused on that. But there was one in that contract. Also, I'm going to ask, since we bought all this wonderful new, older buildings, that obviously the one over on McCall Road that has a big parking lot would be open for the public to be able to use, maybe for the elections on part of that building, because there is a polling deal, and it has the most votes, I believe, goes to the annex bill, Robert Chevrolet, over there to vote. So I'm hoping that you're looking for that, because they're the office that has the big rats. And if we need to do something to help that department and the public. Y'all always think about your own self. I heard some of the people complaining here today that they had to walk a little ways to be here for your proclamation and things that you gave to them. The public is having to walk every day to get to the offices. So please think about the elections over on McCall Road so that the public can use it. My father had a saying that I am sure you have heard before. Every dog has his days. And it is slowly but surely coming true. The people are not happy with the way Hidalgo County Commissioners Court is increasing the debt. And be specific, it will make their lives more difficult for the next 30 years. And then y'all don't care whether they have parking if they have to come to the county to vote. This court thinks it can spend its way out of poverty by selling bonds and increasing our debt without a vote of the people. How much simpler can it be? 40% of the people live in poverty, and they cannot afford the things you want to buy, even if the interest rates are low. Everyone that works for a living has finance limits, but the members of the commission here do not care because you're spending everyone else's money. You do not care because your income are 3 or 4 times the average of the salary of the normal person out in the county. You are not relating to the people because of the poor. I understand, that the voting time, y'all kind of get out there and mix, but a lot of times y'all are not out there mixing. So we're asking for y'all to think about why the laws have to be passed. We had a law that reduced your ability to spend without the vote of the people. That was the spending that the public had approved, that you can only raise it up from 8 to now 3.5 cents. A new law also required that this court must listen to the people at all the public meetings. So I wonder if the state knows this because of Hidalgo County, the city of McAllen, the city of FAR, that the new law, House Bill 2814, was formed. Thank you.
We do have closed session, Judge Commissioners.
Okay, pursuant to Chapter 551 of Texas Government Codes, under Section 551.071 and 551.072 and 551.074, will be retiring to closed session to discuss those items listed. I have a motion to do so.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're back from executive session. Do we have any action items
Yes, sir, we
to
do.
take?
Under open session, so we're in open session, item 28, so I'm going to go back to item 27A and 27B. There is no action to be taken. For the record, 28A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same. There's no action to be taken. Proceed as directed. 28B, pending and/or potential litigation, action to be taken. 28C, deliberation regarding appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal, Urban County Program Directors. No action to be taken today. Just proceed as directed. 28D, Maria del Rosario Cervantes et al. Versus County Judge Commissioners. I'd like for the court to entertain in settlement of C5039-17-I, Maria del Rosario Cervantes et al. Versus County, the amount of $55,000.
You need action, right?
Yes, sir.
For approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 28E, C0142-17-E, Brian Hawthorne versus County of Hidalgo. Judge Commissioners, I'd like for the court to entertain a motion in settlement of Hawthorne versus County of Hidalgo in the amount of $38,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 28F, EEOC charge number 451-2017-00801, AA versus County. There is no action to be taken. We'll just proceed as directed. Item 28G, claim of Frontier Communications. Judge Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $1,897.99.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And item 28H, subrogation claim against Rosa Ortiz. Judge Commissioners, I'm recommending to the court in settlement of this particular case, County versus Rosa Ortiz in our subrogation in the amount of $8,805.43.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item, no action to be taken. Item 29 or 30, close or open session before we adjourn. Our next Commissioners Court session is February 11th, but we will be having a workshop next week, Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
Okay.
And then I will tomorrow send out the yearly calendar for our court sessions, and with the usual that things
We'll
may
make
change.
that 1:45.
1:45.
We'll be coming back from,
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
that's even better.
2 o'clock.
That's
2
even
p.m.
better.
Workshop Tuesday next
That's
week, 2
even
p.m.
better.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
And will you be emailing us that?
Yes,
the
I'm going
dates
to, I'm
for our
going to
calendar?
email it to,
Thank you.
we'll email it tomorrow, the list, and then let us develop it, but we'll send out to each chief calendar invite. If you accept, then it should populate on the calendars.
Yes, sir.
We'll figure that out with Mr. Salinas,
Thank
because
you.
there are multiple dates.
Thank you.
Okay? We have adjournment, Judge.
We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Turn on.